Hey, this is your tutorial on building a slipcase out of binder's board. You're going to want to make sure you have 2mm binder's board on hand for this project. Be sure you measure it really carefully. If it's under 2mm, you can cut it on the Cricut Maker, or at least run the first few passes on the Maker so that you have a guide for finishing the cuts after. When you have your boards cut, you want to start by putting the interior paper, so the paper that you'll see inside the slipcase, onto the boards. So just a text weight sheet of paper will work. You can see I'm kind of outlining the boards here so I can easily put them back, and just for you, so it's a little easier to see. I'm using a mix of PVA and methyl cellulose. Anything will work, 50-50 or 75 PVA, 25 methyl cellulose. The methyl cellulose slows down the drying time of the PVA, so it gives you more time to spread the glue out. You want to work on the board rather than the paper. Start in the center and push the glue out from the center to the edges. Use a stiff brush. The best glue brushes are the kind of cheap chip brushes with the bristles cut in half, which gives you a lot of pushing action and control over the glue. So once you spread it evenly, you're going to put it face down on the paper and start smoothing it over and burnishing it with your bone folder. After your boards are dry, you can trim the edges of that paper off using a knife. And then you're ready for the next step, which is actually assembling and building the box. So you build the box before you apply the book cloth. And I've just added some books inside, in between my two long covers. Just so that the book, while I'm gluing it together, has some structure underneath it. So those are the way the pieces fit. And you can use PVA for this step as well. A small bottle of it or dipping a brush into the PVA would be the best method for this. And I would use straight PVA, so 100% PVA, so it dries really fast. Be very precise with the glue application. And once you get it located and positioned, you really need to hold it steady with your hands for a couple of minutes so that it starts drying and feels more secure. As you add these pieces on, again, you're following instructions from illustrated bookmaking. Just make sure that you're being really careful not to use too much glue, and try to be really precise with how you apply the glue. All right, the sides have been attached and you're ready to put on the other long piece. So make sure you have some weights around so that you can secure all the sides, because remember, it's freshly glued, so it's not very stable right now. And when you get ready to apply this next piece, you really want to have all of the sides secured with these sand weights. We have these around the studio for you to use. Allow several hours, and better yet, even a full 24 hours for your box to dry before you cut the book cloth. Be sure you're using a triangle to secure your measurements. Make sure that all of your lines are 90 degrees before you begin the next step. This is how you want to position the book cloth. And then you're going to apply the PVA to the outside of the box, and you're spreading it nice and thin. So whenever you are gluing book cloth to board, you should have a Teflon bone folder handy. Those are the ones that are white. They're made out of plastic. They're not going to mark the cloth. And you do a lot of burnishing. You just kind of scrub basically all the air bubbles out as you work. That ensures that while the glue is still wet, you get really good contact between the cloth and the board. So now that I've done the first longest and widest side, I'm going to do the spine. The other tip I have for you here is to make sure you have a variety of glue brush sizes to work with. So some that are skinnier than others, so that you have the right brush for the surface that you're covering. Again, you have to burnish quite a lot as you go. And remember that you're wrapping this cloth around, so as you start to apply the glue and pull it over to the next surface, just make sure that it's nice and tight and that you burnish all the surfaces as you work. To avoid pressing too hard on this empty slipcase as you burnish, put some books inside of the space, something sturdy that's going to take that pressure of you pushing on the book cloth. So that was the easy part. You can see here I'm kind of pinching these folds. Now I'm going to separate them with scissors. And as you follow along with the steps in illustrated bookmaking, you'll see that there are several really precise cuts that you need to make in the book cloth in order to ensure that it fits on the slipcase properly. So follow the directions very carefully, take your time. Even being a millimeter off can cause you some headaches, so be sure that you have good lighting and that you're really paying attention to the measurements on your ruler. So once I have the head and tail pieces free, then I can start to trim. So this is where I'm going to do a fold in, and it's going to have a mitered corner. So that's 45 degrees on either side. And it's worth measuring this very carefully. So if you can see, the mat that I'm working on has a 45-degree angle line that I'm tracing in order to get that correct angle to work. So my corners are mitered, and now I'm going to move on to the areas that are in front of the opening of the slipcase. So you'll see in the instructions that there's a kind of jog right here in this cloth that you cut. That's based on the thickness of the board. And it's, again, really important to take your time and be as precise and careful as you can. I have a really small ruler that I'm working with and a brand new blade in my X-Acto knife, which also makes a huge difference. Okay, so I'm going to start gluing in the tabs. So right now I'm starting with the open side of the case, the longest side, and I'm spreading my glue out so that I can push this flap inside. And now it's going to wrap around the lip of the slipcase exterior and then go into the interior. Once that first side is glued in and wrapped around, you do the same treatment for the second side. You're going to remove these little small pieces of cloth, and you'll glue and wrap now the second side into the interior of the slipcase. So once you have the longest sides done, you're going to return to the two short sides. And the first thing you do is glue down these little mitered flaps that you made, the ones that you cut at 45 degrees on both sides. And then you're going to proceed to glue and trim the head and foot of the book cloth so that it wraps really nicely and precisely around those two areas. So the next step is to do a little pre-folding with my bone folder so I can start to see exactly where to make my next cut. And again, be really as precise as you can with every cut that you make. So use a ruler and a knife as often as you can. So here I am kind of checking the fit to see if that works. So this bottom flap goes directly onto the board, and again, lots of burnishing. And then when I flip it back over, I'll be taking that flap that's open and wrapping it on top of the one that I just did. So you can kind of see what both sides look like at this point. Yeah, and now we're at the stage where we're taking these long sides and we're gonna trim them down. So again, pre-folding them so you can see where that line is, where that needs to be cut. That's really helpful. So as you work, of course, there are going to be things that are a little too long and sometimes a little too short. So you can trim as you go. If you have any little bald spots where you can see through the cloth to the board, later on in the video, I'm going to show you how to make a little patch for that. So you see in this sequence that I didn't quite have enough book cloth to cover that corner, and I made a patch to go underneath. You can see this is without the patch. You can see where that little corner shows through. So I opened it back up and I added just a little book cloth right there to patch up that hole. So repeat that on the other end of the slipcase, and then you are finished. You can examine your work, see if there are any other areas that need smoothing or patching, and then let it dry.